Wow!
The kitchen was alive with clinks, sizzles, and bursts of laughter. Chaba stood over the stove, stirring a pot of fragrant stew so rich that even the curtains seemed to lean in for a sniff. Dudukwi danced between the counter and the oven, wielding a wooden spoon like a conductor's baton. Imor was busy at the board, sending perfect slices of carrots and peppers into the air with a flourish, while Jock kept sneaking little tastes, only to get caught and scolded with mock sternness. "Hey, save some for the rest of us." Chaba laughed, handing Jock a piece of warm bread anyway. Dudukwi sprinkled herbs into the stew, the fresh scent of basil and thyme filling the room. They worked in a happy rhythm, passing spices, telling stories, and breaking into spontaneous song. Every dish was a masterpiece in the making, a golden roast shimmering in the oven, a colorful salad bursting with freshness, and the slow-cooked stew bubbling like a promise of warmth. By the time the table was set, it wasn't just dinner, it was a celebration of friendship, flavor, and the kind of joy you could taste with every bite. The evening began with a burst of laughter before the first onion was even peeled. Chaba, wearing an apron that said "Queen of the Kitchen" in faded gold letters, clutched a wooden spoon like a royal scepter. Dudukwi was already swaying to the beat of the radio, humming an old tune as he set a basket of vegetables on the counter. Tonight, Dudukwi declared, "We are not just making dinner, we are making history." Imor raised an eyebrow. "History that smells like garlic, I hope." "Garlic, joy, and just a little bit of chaos," Jock added, already sneaking a grape tomato from the bowl. The kitchen quickly became a stage. Chaba chopped onions with the precision of a surgeon, though she kept having to pause to wipe tears from her eyes, half from the onions, half from the ridiculous jokes Dudukwi was telling. Imor, ever the perfectionist, arranged sliced peppers into neat rainbow-colored piles, while Jock decided the cheese platter needed sampling, for safety reasons. The stew was the crown jewel. Chaba stirred it slowly, letting the rich aroma of cumin and paprika fill every corner of the room. Dudukwi, pretending to be a food critic, would lean over and sniff dramatically before nodding like a man who had just tasted heaven. But the real magic happened when they started layering flavors together. Imor's bright citrus dressing drizzled over roasted vegetables, Jock's crusty bread pulled hot from the oven, Dudukwi's spicy glaze sizzling on the roast, and Chaba's stew bubbling like a song. They moved in harmony, passing utensils, sharing sips of wine, and stealing bites off each other's plates. Someone would tell a story, someone else would burst into song, and the whole room would roar with laughter. At one point, Dudukwi tried to teach everyone a little kitchen dance. Half salsa, half "Don't Drop the Soup," and it became impossible to stir without. Hadzabe music, the ancient soundtrack of survival, spirit, and community. The Hadzabe people of northern Tanzania are one of the last remaining hunter-gatherer tribes in the world. Living near Lake Eyasi, they maintain a way of life that has remained largely unchanged for thousands of years. Central to their cultural identity and community life is music, a powerful, expressive tradition that brings the tribe together and connects them with nature, their ancestors, and each other. The role of music in Hadzabe life. For the Hadzabe, music is not a separate.
In the remote wilderness of East Africa, the Hadzabe tribe lives as one of the last true hunter-gatherer communities on Earth. Their connection to nature is not just tradition, it's a way of life, unchanged for tens of thousands of years. The day begins with the soft sounds of the savannah waking up. Hadza hunters, equipped with handmade bows, arrows tipped with poison from desert plants, and sharp instincts passed down from generation to generation, set out barefoot into the wild. They track game with stunning precision, reading footprints, scents, and animal calls in a way that only comes from living in harmony with nature. After a successful hunt, the tribe returns to camp where the real magic begins. Over an open fire, the catch is cleaned and cooked with care. Wild tubers are roasted, honey is gathered fresh from the trees, and fruits and herbs are collected from the surrounding bush. There are no spices, no modern utensils, just fire, hands, and heart. As the food is shared, the Hadzabe break into joyful dance. The beat of drums, the rhythm of clapping hands, and the power of song fill the evening air. Dancing is more than celebration, it's storytelling, it's community, it's their soul. Young children watch, learn, and join in. Elders lead with grace, passing down knowledge without books or screens, only through doing, seeing, and feeling. There is no electricity, no Wi-Fi, no concrete buildings. Yet here in the wild, under the stars, is a life full of connection, peace, and purpose. This is the Hadzabe life, pure, wild, human. Witness the beauty of hunting, cooking, dancing, and eating in perfect harmony with the earth.
The night fire was born, extended sleeping story. Perfect for a bedtime tale filled with wonder, peace, and ancestral comfort. The night fire was born. Before the first footprints were etched into soft soil. Before names clung to rivers or trees. Before stars had meanings. Before time had a voice. There was only the wild. A world vast and breathing. A world without kings, borders, or noise. Where the wind roamed free and nameless through the tall grasses, and the night had no edges. Where animals moved with confidence, and humans, still new, still learning, moved like whispers among giants. They had no homes. No roof but the sky, no walls but trees. Their days were full of movement. Their nights were full of questions. They followed the herds, the rains, the blooming of berries and the migration of birds. They drank from cold rivers and ate what the land gave. Their eyes were sharp. Their ears were sharper. But at night, they were small. As the sun sank low, long shadows crawled across the land like fingers. The blue sky deepened into velvet, and the air grew cold and close. The people gathered together, bones aching from walking, bellies half full, children drowsy in their arms. They curled close, shoulder to shoulder, heartbeat to heartbeat, trying to hold in warmth as the stars glowed above. There was no comfort then but each other. No protection but presence. No glow to drive back the dark. Only silence, breath, and the long hush of night creatures waking. They listened to the rustle of something unseen, to the distant calls of hunting beasts, to the winds that moved like spirits through trees. And inside their chests, the question flickered again. How do we survive this night? Then one night, far away in what we now call Africa, under a sky heavy with stars, something ancient stirred. A mistake. Or maybe not. Two stones, held in two curious hands, struck together. A spark jumped. So small, it could have been missed. But it wasn't. It landed in dry grass. A pause. A shimmer. Then, a breath of flame. Tiny. Golden. Alive. It wavered like a newborn. Then it rose. It hissed like a whisper from the earth itself. And for the first time since humans had walked the land, the night answered them back, with light. The people gathered close, astonished. They had seen light before, the sun, the moon, the stars. But this was different. This light belonged to them. It kissed their skin with warmth. It painted the ground with moving shadows. It drove the cold from their bones and the fear from their hearts. The beasts in the dark paused. They smelled the heat. They felt the shift. And slowly, carefully, they stepped back. The humans had found something new. Something powerful. At first, they watched the fire like it was a spirit, alive and unknowable. They didn't try to control it. They offered it dry wood and sat in awe as it grew, as it danced. Beautiful story. The night fire was born, extended sleeping story. Perfect for a bedtime tale filled with wonder, peace, and ancestral comfort. The night fire was born. Before the first footprints were etched into soft soil. Before names clung to rivers or trees, before stars had meanings, before time had a voice. There was only the wild. A world vast and breathing. A world without kings, borders, or noise. Where the wind roamed free and nameless through the tall grasses, and the night had no edges. Where animals moved with confidence, and humans, still new, still learning, moved like whispers among giants. They had no homes. No roof but the sky, no walls but trees. Their days were full of movement. Their nights were full of questions. They followed the herds, the rains, the blooming of berries and the migration of birds. They drank from cold rivers and ate what the land gave. Their eyes were sharp. Their ears were sharper. But at night, they were small. As the sun sank low, long shadows crawled across the land like fingers. The blue sky deepened into velvet, and the air grew cold and close. The people gathered together, bones aching from walking, bellies half full, children drowsy in their arms. They curled close, shoulder to shoulder, heartbeat to heartbeat, trying to hold in warmth as the stars bloomed above. There was no comfort then but each other. No protection but presence. No glow to drive back the dark. Only silence, breath, and the long hush of night creatures waking. They listened. To the rustle of something unseen. To the distant calls of hunting beasts. To the winds that moved like spirits through trees. And inside their chests, the question flickered again. How do we survive this night? Then one night, far away in what we now call Africa, under a sky heavy with stars, something ancient stirred. A mistake. Or maybe not. Two stones, held in two curious hands, struck together. A spark jumped. So small, it could have been missed. But it wasn't. It landed in dry grass. A pause. A shimmer. Then, a breath of flame. Tiny. Golden. Alive. It wavered like a newborn. Then it rose. It hissed like a whisper from the earth itself. And for the first time since humans had walked the land, the night answered them back, with light. The people gathered close, astonished. They had seen light before, the sun, the moon, the stars. But this was different. This light belonged to them. It kissed their skin with warmth. It painted, gathered, and listened to the world before the world became so noisy. History, for a long time, was told from the top down. Kings, generals, conquerors. Maps redrawn. Empires made and unmade. Battles with dates. Treaties with clauses. Crowns and swords. But that's not the only way time passed. People are hungry now for something else. A history that lives lower to the ground. Closer to the soil. Not the story of who ruled, but how people lived. What they ate. where they slept, how they raised children, how they waited out the rain, how they gathered roots when no fruit would grow, how they healed, how they carried grief, and how they passed joy along in stories around the fire. Let's begin where history is often quietest. With the indigenous peoples whose voices were left out of the official records. Not because they didn't have stories, but because they didn't write them down in books or carve them in stone for kings. They stored them in the rhythm of seasons, in the smell of wild.
Listen closely to their incredible click-based reflects their deep cultural heritage. Watch as they gather around the fire to prepare a freshly hunted meal, cooking with nothing but natural tools and age-old techniques. Meat on bone fire the result? A flavorful, nourishing feast straight from the wild. This video is not just about food, it's about survival, community, language, and connection to the land. Whether you're passionate about indigenous cultures, fascinated by bushcraft, or just curious about life off the grid, this is a powerful look at real, raw human life, far from modern convenience. Travel deep into the heart of East Africa and spend a day with the Hadza tribe, one of the last true hunter-gatherer societies still living as humans did for thousands of years. In this documentary-style video, you'll witness the Hadza's extraordinary connection to nature, from tracking and hunting wild animals with handmade bows and poisoned arrows to preparing delicious bush meals using natural ingredients gathered from the land. Direct hit hunting techniques. The Hadza hunt using traditional methods, no guns, no modern tools, just handcrafted bows, keen instincts, and silent teamwork. Whether they're chasing baboons, birds, or small antelope, every step in the hunt is guided by ancestral knowledge and deep respect for nature. You'll see how every part of the animal is used, wasting nothing. Click language communication. The Hadza language is one of the world's rare click languages, filled with coughs, clicks, and tones that are as musical as they are complex. It's not just communication. It's a cultural identity that has survived for millennia, even as modern influences close in. Wild cooking and family meals. After the hunt, the tribe gathers around a fire to cook their catch. Meals are shared communally, seasoned only by fire and experience. Watch as they prepare baboon meat, roast tubers, and even harvest wild honey straight from the trees. Every dish tells a story of survival, resourcefulness, and unity. A life in harmony with nature. The Hadza live with what nature The Hadzabe tribe men, warriors, cattle keepers, and protectors of the land. If the women of the Hadzabe tribe are the heart of the household,
Often older men prepare medicine and offer spiritual guidance. Providers. In the arid crucial and active role in gathering unlike the men, who may venture far for days to chase animals like baboons, antelope, or even small wildcats, Hadzabe women tend to stay closer to camp, engaging in shorter, but highly effective hunting and foraging expeditions. Their tools are simpler: digging sticks, small bows, and deep ancestral knowledge of the land. But their results are powerful. Their hunting technique. Tracking small game, Hadzabe women are highly skilled at spotting subtle animal tracks and disturbances in the underbrush. They often hunt small mammals like hares, squirrels, birds, or even baboons using short-range bows and arrows. Cooperative movement, they hunt in small, cooperative groups. Communication is mostly silent, relying on hand signals and eye contact, which is essential for moving through the dense brush without alerting prey. Setting traps. In some cases, they'll set up basic snares or deadfall traps near watering holes or animal paths, returning later to check if anything has been caught. Foraging while hunting. Women often combine hunting with foraging, collecting edible roots, berries, baobab fruit, tubers, and wild honey along the way. This multitasking approach ensures they return with something even if the hunt is unsuccessful. Once they return to the camp, there is a strong emphasis on sharing. All food, whether meat, roots, or fruit, is distributed among the group, especially to children and elders. Meals are often cooked over an open fire with the whole family gathered. You'll see mothers teaching their children how to clean game, prepare it for roasting, and even identify useful plants. The role of women in survival. While the Hadzabe men's hunting is dramatic and more visible, the women's role is constant, dependable, and essential. Day after day, they ensure the family is fed, teaching the younger generation how to survive with wisdom, patience, and deep respect for nature. Their strength lies not just in their ability to hunt, but in their understanding of the land, their resilience, and their deep connection to the rhythms of the natural world.
Uchame yako moja moja moja. Tambi.
Europe, Africa. Listen closely to their incredible click-based Hadzabe music, the ancient soundtrack of survival, spirit, and community. The Hadzabe people of northern Tanzania are one of the last remaining hunter-gatherer tribes in the world. Living near Lake Eyasi, they maintain a way of life that has remained largely unchanged for thousands of years. Central to their cultural identity and community life is music, a powerful, expressive tradition that brings the tribe together and connects them with nature, their ancestors, and each other. The role of music in Hadzabe life. For the Hadzabe, music is not a separate art form, it's woven into daily life. Unlike modern societies where music may be confined to concerts, recordings, or entertainment venues, Hadzabe music is functional, spiritual, and communal. It is not performed in the conventional sense, it is experienced and lived, often spontaneously. Music is used for celebration, after a successful hunt or community gathering. Storytelling. Passing down tribal stories, myths, and history through song. Rituals and ceremonies, including rites of passage, healing dances, initiation, and weddings. Bonding and play, around the campfire in the evening, singing, clapping, and dancing. Spiritual connection, songs are often directed toward spirits of the forest, ancestors, or used in rainmaking rituals. Instruments, rhythm from the earth. Most Hadzabe music is vocal and percussive, made using the body and natural instruments. Instruments are few but deeply symbolic and effective. Drums, often crafted from hollowed logs and animal skins. Used for rhythm in group dances and ceremonies. Gourds and shakers, filled with seeds or pebbles to create percussive textures. Hand clapping and body stomping, a fundamental part of rhythm making, often performed by everyone present. Wooden flutes and bows, rare but used occasionally for melodic lines, sometimes mimicking bird calls or forest sounds. Despite the simplicity of tools, the music is rich, layered, and emotionally resonant, creating an immersive experience that resonates through the open bush. Music is oral tradition and education. In the absence of written language or recorded archives, music is the Hadzabe's living memory. Songs serve as oral textbooks, teaching how to track animals, what plants are edible or medicinal, tribal history and legends, behavioral codes and social expectations. Children learn by watching and participating, absorbing rhythm, language, and cultural meaning from a young age. This ensures that traditional knowledge is passed from one generation to the next in an engaging and unforgettable way. Dance, the movement of spirit and joy. Hadzabe music is almost always accompanied by dance. It is not choreographed but rather intuitive, flowing with the rhythm of the drums and the song. Dance reinforces unity, everyone joins in, elders, women, children. Energy release. After a long hunt or ceremony. Spiritual engagement, used in trance or healing rituals. The atmosphere during.
Hunting and harmony, how the Hadza tribe hunts, cooks, and shares a baboon meal. Deep in the wild savannas of Tanzania, the Hadza tribe, one of the last remaining hunter-gatherer societies on Earth, continues to live in close harmony with nature. Clicking sounds and Hadzabe names, among the many animals they hunt for speaking head sparkles. The Hadzabe, or Hadza, people of Tanzania speak a unique and ancient language that includes clicking consonants, making it one of the most distinct and rare forms of spoken communication in the world. These clicking sounds are not just stylistic, they are actual phonemes, meaning they function like regular letters or syllables in their language. The Hadza language includes a range of click sounds, such as dental clicks, like tisk-tisk, lateral clicks, similar to the sound you make to urge a horse forward, alveolar clicks, sharp tongue pops made at the roof of the mouth. These clicks often appear within names, everyday speech, storytelling, and even during hunting, where communication must be silent yet clear. It's an intricate system that non-speakers find very hard to imitate, let alone understand. Speech balloon example. A Hadzabe person's name might contain a click sound that isn't written in English. It's a sound, not a letter. For example, Zany or Oma, note, the symbols like or represent different types of clicks. Globe showing Europe-Africa linguistic significance. The Hadza language is considered a linguistic isolate, meaning it's not closely related to any other known language family. It is spoken by fewer than 1,500 people, making it endangered but incredibly important in the study of human language origins. The use of clicks places the Hadza language among a very small group in Africa, including Khoisan languages found mostly in southern Africa. Brain cultural insight. To the Hadza, these names and sounds are not just labels, they carry identity, ancestral meaning, and sometimes environmental or spiritual connections. Learning to pronounce them properly is a sign of deep respect for their culture. White heavy checkmark summary. Hadzabe names with clicking sounds are a powerful reminder of human diversity. They reflect thousands of years of oral tradition, survival, and a way of living that remains deeply connected to nature and identity. Clicking sounds in Hadzabe names, a rare language tradition. Deep in the savannas and woodlands around Lake Eyasi in northern Tanzania, the Hadzabe, or Hadza, tribe lives as one of the last true hunter-gatherer societies on Earth. Their way of life has remained largely unchanged for thousands of years, and at the heart of their culture is a unique and ancient language, marked by something extraordinary: clicking sounds. These clicks aren't casual noises or expressions. They are real, meaningful components of the Hadza language, used not just in speech but within names themselves, making Hadzabe personal names some of the most unique and difficult to pronounce in the world for outsiders. Speaking head, what are clicking sounds? In phonetics, clicks are non-pulmonic consonants. That means they're not made by pushing air out of the lungs like most sounds, but by creating a vacuum in the mouth and releasing it. You may recognize some of them from casual sounds you make in daily life. Dental click, similar to tisk-tisk, disapproval sound. Lateral click, like urging a horse to move, tisk-tsk, but more side tongue. Alveolar click. A sharp pop made with the tongue against the roof of the mouth. Palatal click, a more complex, tongue-curling sound. These clicks are fully integrated into words and names, not added for emphasis or rhythm. That means a name like Ghana or Zoni includes click consonants as essential building blocks, just as English names have vowels and consonants. A linguistic mystery. The Hadza language is one of the most enigmatic and isolated on Earth. It's classified as a language isolate, which means it has no confirmed relation to any other language family. Though it shares the use of click sounds with Khoisan languages, mainly found in southern Africa, linguistic studies have shown that Hadza developed its click-based system independently. This has fascinated researchers and anthropologists for decades. The fact that the Hadzabe language has survived millennia without writing, and that it's only spoken by around 1,200 to 1,500 people, makes it a living linguistic fossil, a window into early human speech patterns. Names with clicks, identity through sound. In Hadza culture, names are deeply tied to identity, environment, and ancestry. Many Hadzabe names are impossible to write accurately in the Roman alphabet because of these clicks, which means their true pronunciation can only be learned by hearing and mimicking it from native speakers. For example, a man's name might be Kuda, with an alveolar click at the beginning. A woman's name might be Noma, starting with a lateral click. These are not nicknames or special terms, they are formal, everyday names used in introductions, storytelling, and ceremonies. To a Hadza person, these sounds are second nature, but for outsiders, they require careful listening, practice, and respect. Mispronouncing a click in a name can change its meaning entirely, or make it incomprehensible. Why it matters. Preserving the Hadzabe language and its clicking names is not just a matter of academic interest, it's a vital part of protecting Indigenous identity, cultural sovereignty, and human linguistic heritage. In a world where thousands of languages are going extinct due to globalization and assimilation, the Hadzabe language stands as a symbol of resilience and continuity. Their click-based names and spoken traditions represent an unbroken line to some of the earliest human communication systems. A living link to our origins. Some anthropologists